Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I hope that you are having a great day, and in today's video, this is going to be a shorter one, I think. We are going to talk about the announcement of an announcement coming out from Bandai Namco because, yeah, they've put out a post on some of their social media profiles explaining that they have a new TCG coming, a global launch of a TCG, so it's coming everywhere. And we're going to know more details next Thursday, the 18th. Neat stuff. This isn't insane, honestly, to think about that they want to put a new card game out there. They do have plenty of success right now. Digimon, Dragon Ball, One Piece. And Bandai Namco is a company with a lot of IPs under their belt, either that they own directly, such as like Pac-Man, or that they publish for other people, like with One Piece. Because I don't think they fully own One Piece. Or do they own Gundam? I think they own Super Sentai. It has occurred to me that I did not properly check what the full list of properties actually owned fully by Bandai is. But anyway, in this video, I just want to quickly guess as to what the new TCG could be and whether or not I will be right. And of course, there's three things I looked for when thinking about properties associated with Bandai Namco that could, in theory, get a TCG. Obviously, popularity is a big one. A TCG with an existing fan base, an IP with an existing fan base, is more likely to succeed than one that does not have a established fan base. There's also breadth, or I suppose I should say a big cast of characters, items, etc. to pull from. You know, some franchises don't have a whole lot of meat to them, so making a full card game that should last several years off of them can be difficult if there's not a whole lot of content. And of course, the third thing is called the X factor. It's like how likely it is. You know, there's some IPs that they are popular, but they are unlikely. So one that is theoretically possible is Naruto, for instance, but I don't think Naruto is going to get a Bandai Namco TCG because there's already a new Naruto TCG being produced by Caillou. So, of course, I racked my brain for a bit, and these are my predictions for what a new Bandai Namco TCG could be. So, first things first is the Tales of series. The Tales of video games are some of the better video games out there in terms of the JRPG department. They are very good. Some of them are amazing games. Tales of Symphonia, Tales of the Abyss come to mind almost immediately as just absolute banger games. Sure, there have been some duds over the years too, but for the most part, I have enjoyed every Tales of game that I've played. They have a lot of characters, a lot of worlds to draw from, a lot of lore, a lot of really cool monsters, side quests, items. There's a lot there in the Tales of series that could be used to make a full-on TCG. Second up is the Dot Hack franchise. Now, the Dot Hack franchise is one that people tend to forget about because, well, for better or for worse, Bandai doesn't like to release a lot of products for it. We get some video games every so often, and that's kind of it. They did a remaster of the GU games a few years ago, but not the original four, which really bothers me. But the Dot Hack series is very similar. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of content and lore, there's a lot they could do with. There was enough, in fact, for another TCG for it to have already existed, Dot Hack Enemy, which is one that I should have been talking about on the channel by now, but I'm going to be honest, I just haven't gotten around to it. So Dot Hack is another idea I had. The third one that I think is possible is something like Project Cross Zone, or maybe more of their fighting games like Soul Calibur. I think they do Soul Calibur, but I confess that I did not check that either. But Project Cross Zone is a multimedia video game series for the 3DS that had 2 titles and was pretty good, all things considered. I played it, it was fine, but it's got a bunch of crossover characters and from a bunch of different companies too. So if Bandai could figure out a way to get all those licenses in check, this one I think is less likely, in all honesty, because there's a bunch of cross-licensing going on for Project Cross Zone. But it would be nice to see a lot of these multimedia franchise characters interacting, like Phoenix Wright and Haseo and all that jazz. That'd be really fun. Dante was in there, featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. That'd be kind of cool. The fourth one, of course, that comes to mind is the Super Sentai series with 50 years of content, I think, to fall back on, dozens upon dozens of different teams, giant monsters to work with. I think a Super Sentai TCG could absolutely take it away. And it could draw not just from, because it's a global release, keep that in mind, it could draw not just from the Super Sentai series, but from some of the original concepts introduced in the Power Rangers stuff, too, which, Power Rangers is like the localized version of Super Sentai, but it does have some of its own ideas over time. Characters, especially, that were introduced overall much later on. But I do think Super Sentai it's very popular. Lots of people grow up with those transforming Power Rangers-esque characters as a huge part of their childhood, and I do think there is definitely an established audience for it. So I don't think it's unreasonable to think that some sort of Super Sentai TCG could make waves. It fits. I think this one's more likely just because it fits all the criteria. It's got a huge fan base. It's been around for so long, 50 years. And there's loads and loads and loads of material to work with there. So I think that one's honestly not a bad call. But honestly, at the end of the day, my guesses are just that, guesses. I'm curious to see what the 18th will have in store for us. And I'm also curious what you guys think. So let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, subscribe. I will be back to my regularly scheduled Frank content tomorrow once it's hopefully a bit cooler out in the garage. But for now, I'm sitting here in the nice central air room. Fun stuff. Anyway, talk to you guys later. I'm curious to see what this TCG ends up being. Ciao!